Hey guys, there can be a lot of confusion with the federal resume, and I'm going to share with you today 5 of the top mistakes I commonly see on federal resumes that I review. And I will include 2 bonus tips at the end. First, there's the overload of bullets. And if you're not doing bullets in your resume, that is because you are using the federal resume builder in usajobs.gov. If you create your own resume using a Word document, then you're able to input bullets. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing your own resume. In fact, if done properly, I think that it can be more eye-catching than a resume from the resume builder. But do not overuse bullets like this. Bullets are to call attention to something special or to emphasize something, such as a success story or a remarkable achievement, not every single achievement that you have accomplished. Usually what I see is dozens and dozens of bullets that mainly focus on what the person was responsible for instead of what they actually achieved. Now, it doesn't really matter about everything that you were responsible for. If you didn't conduct that task with proficiency, if you weren't able to achieve something by doing that task, then what is it really saying? It's taking up room on your resume. If you were responsible for 3 systems and then you just leave it at that, you don't talk about increasing efficiency. You don't talk about how you were able to audit it and make it more effective in the future, or how you redesigned something. You're just simply saying, I was responsible for this, and just leaving it at that. That's not strong enough. You're wasting valuable space on your resume. Bullet overload is definitely not doing you any favors, and there are more effective ways to write your resume. Second is typing out these huge blocks of text. When I start reading a resume and I see these enormous paragraphs just stacked one on top of another, I immediately think about taking a nap. It doesn't matter if I just had a coffee, I want to go to sleep. Most HR specialists are not going to read your entire resume. And when you have these large blocks of text stacked on top of each other, you can guarantee an HR specialist will not read most of it or any of it at all. You need to consider how busy HR specialists are with reading through 100 or more resumes for each job announcement. Do you really think they want to read through an entire novel when looking at your resume? It is important to have keywords and actual substance in your resume. But once again, this can be edited and styled in a more pleasing manner. And due largely from the frustration, it's this reason why I created a small course that will help you create a strong resume that will get you results. Link in the description below. Third is if you leave out start dates and the number of hours you worked per week. Once again, if you're creating your own resume instead of using the resume builder, then it can be easy to forget to add this part. The resume builder on usajobs.gov should actually force you to input this information. Also, if you're using your volunteer experience or unpaid experience, you need to put your hours in which you are actually performing that experience. And there's nothing wrong with using unpaid experience. In fact, last year I helped a lady attain a GS9 job offer and she had no paid experience. Everything was from volunteering at different organizations on different military bases. Her experience did equate to 40 hours a week, so she was able to receive full-time credit for that type of experience. Once again, this is all coming down to how you structure your resume. Number 4 is using acronyms. And I know how eager some of you might be to share your expertise and to share your achievements, but 99% of HR specialists, they don't know what your acronym means. And you do not have to spell it out, just don't use it at all. I'm going to give you an example. I currently work on a system called FHAC. Do you know what FHAC is? You probably don't know what FHAC is. It's an informational system. So instead of me mentioning the acronym multiple times on my resume, I can simply put that I maintain and I updated an informational system. That is plain speak. You understand it, I understand it, HR understands it. Now there's a really quick way that you can check this. Take your resume on your computer you print it out and hand it to a 12 or 13-year-old. Maybe you have a family member in that age range. If they're able to understand your resume without too many questions, the chances are that you haven't complicated it too much. 5th is not quantifying your achievements. This is easily the number 1 mistake I see on all federal resumes. It basically tells HR everything you did at your old job, but it doesn't fully paint the picture of the scale in which you did it. So you managed 2 or 3 informational systems, but what was the result? Did you discover dozens of errors during your audits? Did you pass annual or quarterly inspections? You need to look at not only the results, but the number next to the result. And one way of doing this is looking through your resume, and where you see that noun where you achieved something, see if you're able to put a number next to it. Can you actually quantify that noun? Okay, since you made it this far, you get 2 bonus tips. The first one is do not put a link to your LinkedIn profile or any social media account you have on your resume. Don't do that at all. You'll disqualify yourself. The reason for that, you're not supposed to include a picture in your resume. As soon as HR sees a picture or a link where they can find your picture, your resume is in the trash bin. Number 2 is do not include the experience that is not relevant to the job you're applying for. For example, if you're applying for an instructional position, say you're applying to be an instructor, you do not need to include your Taco Bell experience about making tacos. Now, if you taught people how to make tacos, it might be relevant. But if all you did was make burritos and tacos, then it's not relevant. Too often, people want to include all of their experience. From the last 10, 20, 30 years, they just want to lump it all in together. And once again, you're wasting that valuable space that's in the resume. Alright, so let me know if you were ever guilty of any of these type of mistakes. And if you have any resume tips that maybe I missed, let me know down below. Well, that wraps up my video on the 5 mistakes to avoid when writing your federal resume. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave that down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.